I'm gonna now build the basic blocking of the character in ZBrush through ZSphere. So what I did is like putting the piece of concept art on a layer in the background and quickly building a mesh with ZSpheres on another layer, and just gonna be rough, trying to match the underlying concept with Z-spheres. Symmetry is activated, as you can see, and with quickly like scaling and pushing and pulling of Z-spheres, we're gonna try to match in both views the overall shape and volumes of our little character. We are using, as you can see, the Z-uplink storing of the views, so we can easily like store and then recall later the position of the Z-spheres in order to match the front and the side view. As you can see, I'm recalling the side view and the front view. Just moving a little bit the Z-spheres, trying to get the better matching of the volumes of our character. Time to move to the arms right now. Just press Shift on the Z-sphere and it creates a Z-sphere of the same size, and then just moving and scaling the Z-spheres. Here we are. We don't need to be super accurate right now, just a matter of like matching more or less the overall volume of the character. We're gonna use the mesh that we're gonna create from the Z-sphere with the adaptive skin as a base for our poly modeling. And just trying to delete and optimize a little bit better the topology that we got from ZBrush, from the Z-spheres. And of course, we're going to only use half of it, because we are going to use symmetry. Trying to detach a little the parts of our character, like head, like jacket and pants. I'm just gonna extrude this part of the pants in order to get the wings of the jacket, and I'm gonna attach it to the upper polygons, and this mesh is gonna be my jacket. Of course, it's super rough right now. We're gonna do a lot of tweaking with soft selection and pushing and pulling vertexes in order to match the concept below. Symmetry applied with the modifier. Here we go with the pants right now. At this stage, it's just important to get a general feeling of the volumes. Topology is very rough right now. The only thing I care is some kind of like decent flow of the loops and a decent ratio of the polygons. Geometry doesn't have to be super dense right now, but not even, you know, not enough to not model comfortably. Just trying to separate a little bit better what is gonna be my head from the jacket. Of course, there are various approaches in this case, and someone could probably just want to model in Max directly this kind of base blocking meshes. Just prefer to do it in ZBrush, but I mean, it's really up to you according to your workflow. What I'm trying to do now is just like to smooth a little bit with the relax function the mesh of the head. Just my approach. You can probably start with a sphere if you want, but it doesn't really matter. Just trying to match roughly the shape of the head. There are various ways to do this. This is just mine. Side view. Of course, we are gonna do a lot of ZBrush sculpting and working on the proportions later with ZBrush itself. This is just to show you what you can roughly do with few tools of poly modeling. This is just to have an idea of the general problematics that we might encounter when we try even to block a character. As you can see, we have something weird going on with the shape of the ears. I'm not sure if it's really possible to get those kind of ears like in the console. We'll see. Now it's just a matter of trying to figure out a little bit the volumes overall. Soft selection is used a lot. Just separate what is gonna be the boots from the mesh of the pants itself. As you can see, I'm moving the loops with edge constraint at times. Just cap the lower ends of the pants. This is still a stage where everything is pretty rough. Just a matter of getting the overall feeling about volumes. So here are pants, activated like transparency in 3D Studio Max, and we just keep going, just trying to match as much as possible the underlying concept. Just moving the lower part of the jacket. As you can see, with the transparency mode, we can really like see better what's going on below in terms of like concept art and match it better. Just align the edges on the half of our jacket mesh and some topology tweaking. Here we go. Topology doesn't have to be, as I said, strictly perfect right now. It's way far to be perfect and optimized for animation, but just the overall idea is to have as much as squads as possible, because even at this stage it's really important to plan in some way about having a nice and clean flow. It's better to do it now than trying to fix it later when the geometry is gonna be way more dense. As you can see, it's always a matter of trying to find a compromise between having something that is functional in 3D and trying to match and replicate a 2D feeling. And sometimes it's not even possible. It's just a matter of trying to gather the best compromise. Right now I'm trying to faithfully trace what I have below, and I'm not thinking very much about if this is gonna be weird in 3D. So now, so far, I mean, it really depends how much the underlying concept is solid. In this case, it's pretty solid, but sometimes it's not really like that. Just do some tweaking with set flow and some optimizing of the topology in the upper part of the jacket, especially the armpit area can be really problematic for animation. So let's try to set the flows in a much more like clean way. Set flow all the way to have a nice continuity of the mesh, and this is a very critical area, the armpit, so I just want to be sure that I have enough density and clean topology to allow riggers to make to do a good job. Just trying to have like a nice ratio of the polygons and decent flow. As you can see, it's really easy with Polyboost and the editable poly tools to quickly remove and add loops and rings. At this point I'm trying also to match this is gonna be the belt. Here we are, symmetry for the belt. It's a very simple piece of mesh for now. Quick shell to give it some thickness. Flow connect, and just create some little bit of chamfering and insets. Let's see, just to give to the belt a little bit of I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it, but for now it's okay. And I also remove the inner part of the belt, of course, because I mean those polygons were not like seen. So just do some hard edge, close to the shoulders in the jacket. And now just trying to match a little bit better the shape of the sleeves. Soft selection is active. Just as you can see, I'm really trying to trace what I have below as much as possible at this stage. It's gonna be really helpful later when we are gonna export this mesh into ZBrush for sculpting on the wrinkles and everything. If the general proportions are fine, of course. Just moving between the jacket and the pants. Pants are gonna need a lot of sculpting in ZBrush for those wrinkles, but right now I only care about the volumes. Just trying to having a decent and even flow of the polygons. I'm trying to work on this neck area. Not really sure about what is gonna be the size of his neck, but right now just trying to make it flow decently. I want to have a nice flow on the neck and on the upper torso. That's why I'm trying to push and pull vertexes in this area. I mean, the basic topology is really important. It's gonna be really helpful later. And it also prevents a lot of problems in rigging. So it's time to extrude a little bit the upper part of the jacket. Just moving vertices around in this color to match the concept below. Little bit of chamfer and one more loop to better shape the color. Here we go. More or less. Now the color follows what we have in the concept. We did a little bit of a buckle on the belt. Not really need any detailed explanation about the modeling. But what we're gonna do now is something that we really do often in production, is about doing the cap on the sleeves. This is important because when the character moves sometimes you can really see the inside of the sleeves, and if you don't have any polygons inside, sometimes the light creates some kind of weird artifacts, or sometimes you can even see the parts of the arm that you don't want to see. Maybe sometimes the mesh of the arm underneath is uncompleted, so you just wanna cap the sleeves, in order to avoid any further rendering problems. And now we're gonna move a little bit those loops on the lower part of the jacket to create the pockets, basically. Just moving the vertexes in the approximate position of the pockets. And what we are gonna do is extruding those polygons, which are gonna be the folds of the pocket itself. We're not gonna model the inside of the pockets, it's not really necessary, but just a stylized character, but it's really important to get the right feeling of those pockets and the placement and the shape. Of course, now there is a lot of tension in the loops in this area, but hopefully later the things are gonna be better with a little bit of optimization. As you can see, I'm working most of the time in screen mode. It's really helpful to move vertexes in space, very easily without having any kind of constraint to the view or to any axis. And we're trying to get a decent shape for these pockets, and I have to figure out about how to get the correct tensions, especially at the edge of the pockets. We are gonna just add loops here and there, and then moving the vertexes of the new loops close to the edge of the pockets, like right now. We just want to have more tension close to the edge of the pocket. Otherwise, the surface, when I apply Turbo Smooth, it's not gonna be smooth enough. Here we go. More tensions at the edge of the pockets. And I'm moving vertexes, as you can see, with the edge constraint activated. It's another important feature that I always use. For now is okay. Right now I'm just gonna try to give a little bit of hardness on the shoulders, because that's how I perceive it is in the concept. Just adding loops. Just trying to match the concept a little bit. It's not really necessary this kind of detail at this stage, but sometimes I'm just interested in quickly getting some feelings